Pekes and the Pollicles, everyone knows, and proud, practical, passionate foes. It is always the same wherever one goes, in the pubs and the palms, although most people say that they do not like fighting, will often display every symptom of wanting to join the fray, and they bark, 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 until you can hear them all over the park. Now on the occasion of which I shall speak, almost nothing happened for nearly a week, and that's a long time for a polar peak. And the big police dog was away from his beat. I don't know the reason, but most people think he slipped into the bricklayer's arm for a drink, and no one at all was about on the street when a Peke and a Pollicle happened to meet. They did not advance or exactly retreat, but they glared at each other and scrapped their hind feet and started to bark, 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 until you could hear them all over the park. Now the Peke, although people may say what they please, is no British dog, but a heathen Chinese. And so all the Pekes, when they heard the uproar, some came to the window, some came to the door. There was surely a doyen, more likely a score, and together they started to grumble, and we in their huffery suffering heathen Chinese. But a terrible din is what Pollicles like, for your Pollicle dog is the Yorkshire tyke, and his brown Scottish cousins are snappers and biters, and every dog jack of them notable fighters. And so they stepped out with their pipers in order, playing when the blue bonnet came over the border. Then the pug and the palms held no longer aloof, but some from the balcony joined in to the din with the bark, 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 until you could hear them all over the park. Now when these bold heroes together assembled, the traffic all stopped and the underground trembled, and some of what the neighbors were so much afraid that they started to ring up the fire brigade, when suddenly up from a small basement flat, why who should stalk out the great rumpus cat? His eyes were like fireballs fearfully blazing. He gave a great yawn and his jaws were amazing. And when he looked out through the bars of the area, you never saw anything fiercer or hairier. And what with the glare of his eyes and his yawning, the Pekes and the Pollicles quickly took warning. He looked at the sky and gave a great leap, and they every last one of them scattered like sheep. And when the police dog returned to his beat, there wasn't a single one left in the street.